そして空いている大きいチャンピオンオリアナを JDG が取りましたね。アフェリオス、セジュアにピックが早いですよ。準備してきたものをどんどんと出していく。セジュアにはメレーチャンピオンと相性がいいんですけど、何か出せるものありますかね、ミッドレーンで。ゼリ。準々決勝ではゼリはこれが初ピックかな。ゼリも度重なるナーフを受け続けたチャンピオン。ソロ級ではちょっと勝率は高くないですか。そしてラカン中の回復量がすごすぎてずっと昨日もバンされてましたね。レーンも強いし集団戦も強い。クリムゾンさん、こんばんはです。独占さん、こんばんは。バンピット始まってますよ。そしてキーンのジャックス。
has not been able to hit his regular season form, right? And I do think that with the Jax, especially when you have something like the Sejuani that really enables you to play very aggressively in the early game, we'll have to see what they're going to end up playing, because we don't know what the top side 2v2 is going to be, because those two picks still not taken for JDG.
And that's the thing, you can still go for something like the Kazante. I mean, yes, you do get beaten by the Jax in the late stage.
これセジャニとはヨネとかジェイス合わせるのかな。でも物理ダメージ多すぎてさすがに無理か。
And something that KT, I think, have looked the best at out of any team is the way that they play around side lanes. 1-3-1 and 1-4 is something that they were really good at domestically. And I think it's
ムーコンもジャングリ用のナーフをたくさん受けてソロ級では出せない状態なんですけど、プレインではベトナムのガムのジャングラーが使ってましたね。チャンピオン自体は強くないと思うんですけど、うまく使って試合をキャリーしてましたよ。カリアバン。
grab a champion here and then look for the counter pick for BDD. That is what the consideration is looking like right now, although
ルーラーのゼリといえば去年とんでもないことしてましたからね。おはようございます、ジリアさん。バンピック始まっております。そしてゼリの隣のルルを取り上げたのか、アフェリオスルルです。バルス？バルスは出ないですよ。
would allow you to have a more reliable front line, but Renekton, especially depending on what will be picked up here for Kanavi, is going to have a much bigger impact and allow you to actually push back towards that top side 2v2. We'll see what Kanavi obviously has a complete champion Ocean, so
そうですね、アフェリオスが出てます。
we'll see what he actually ends up in, but I do think that trying to contest KT towards that top side is a good idea. This is something that well-recon combination gonna allow JDG to play the style that they love.
I think as well, you didn't really have a huge amount of options there for Kanavi. Like, if you go towards the Lee Sin, not the best lane setup. Yes, Renekton, but it's against the Jax who has the counter strike. You're going to be losing out on the bot lane, so you don't really have things to look for the invade with like the likes of a Belvet. So I do like the idea of, hey, I'm going to try to engage, but that's a pick and a half.
AT チャンピオンでメレー。メレーだからセジャニとのガンカーセも強いと。
this champion BDD, more of those control mages just in general. But when they do
エイミングさんのアフェリオスが下手だというご意見をいただいております。
exceptionally well. I thought that the Silas angle was looking good. I feel like that helped block away the potential Maokai pickup.
ちょっと僕の基準ではプロのプレイヤーはみんな神様なので、神様の活躍を見ていきますよ。いやー、AT のメレーチャンピオンが欲しいなと思ってたんですけど、セジャニと相性がいい。明かり出してきましたね。セジャニのパッシブは、セジャニの E のパッシブはメレーチャンピオンがオートアタックするとスタンのスタックがたまるので、味方にもメレーが欲しいんですよ。
That could be an issue that you're going to struggle with here, and I want to see what KT are going to do to make sure Kuz has an okay jungle clear.
Yeah, it feels like in theory this could work against the JDG style of play. We've seen this attempted even at this tournament, and it has not been enough to actually get over the line.
ルルのシールドをもらったエイミングさんが敵を破壊してくれるでしょ。
Mid jungle, it's even top jungle as well, which is going to be very important in this game, given the early game reputation of a Renekton. But here we are, ladies and
JDG 対
gentlemen,
KT1 試合目スタートですよ。
game one of our third quarter
いや、ワ
final
ク
here
ワ
at
クで
Worlds
すわ。
2023. We're in Busan. The weather was a little bit rainy this morning. However, see what is actually going to come to pass here on this map. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you can connect your League of Legends account with Prime Gaming to grab the exclusive Braum W emote, the best emote created almost in the history of League of Legends.
It does feel like getting to cast this series with you lads is also a big W though, because for JDG, it's a case of right, we're going to see another step on the road towards that golden road, which has been, I think, what a lot of people are
やっ
expecting
ぱり
from
カルは
JDG,
購入するだけで
especially after
180 ゴールドもらえる最強アイテムなので、
But on the opposite
他
side,
にこのゲームでそういうアイテム他に存在しませんよ。購入するだけでプラス180ゴールド。買い物をしているのになぜかお金がもらえるというバグ。お互いの ADC が購入してます。
With his former mid laner in BDD and his former bottom lane teammate.
カルナーフされたらちょっと悲しい。ドランアイテムが強くされたのにカルがナーフされたら僕何買えばいいんですか？
Before they finally can potentially claim that title. See how it does go as Keen already using some counter strikes, getting some shots down here on this top side. Of course, the Jax matchup level 1 pretty good into Renekton.
Yeah, you're really looking to try and
Doran
abuse the fact
item
that the
ですか？
first like 3-4 levels you actually do have a lead into the
シャモーさ
Renekton.
ん、
Try
こん
and
ばんは。
get control of the wave early.
不動
Shove
産
them in,
経
get
営
a
をしてい
really
る
great
その
focus.
キャ
You're
ロット
gonna
で
need
す。
every advantage
どう
that
も
you can get. Because as soon as you get to like the later stages,
ホテルに自分の名前をつけていく。
Going in, they've already got the flash from aiming here.
エダカントアフロスのフラッシュトレード。
You can understand it completely.
Yeah, but look at where
素
Kanabi
晴ら
is
し
at the
い
moment. He's
レベル
completely
先
cleared
行
his
から
top
の
side and wants to go for
仕
an
立て
invade
ですわ。
onto this bottom half of the map. So may not be a dive that they're completely looking for, although Knight is hovering towards bot side to try and support that. It may just be a split map.
アフロスノーフラッシュ。
It's an absolute disaster.
It certainly is. It is something that
これ
aiming is
だいぶ
very
されちゃいますか？
used to.
もしかして。
Here on KT doesn't get a lot of help as Keen going very aggressive onto 369. Definitely, you can hear here in Busan the fans
だいぶされ
starting
ちゃい
to
ま
raise
すよ
their
ね。
voices a little bit, but a lot of KT fans here, so still very reserved.
we'll see. I don't think there is a window here because Cousins
フラッシュないアフロスがどうやってレールとラカンのだいぶ防ぐんだ。
Cuz wants to just ensure that he can actually keep up and farm, clear the jungle, and as long as aiming and Lahens don't take too much damage in trading, they should be all right. Even with the
これ KT も分かってるでしょう。相手のジャングラーの位置を。
I will say though, something that we saw a lot was like these
今からボットダイブされる恐れがあるということを理解しているはずです。
It's like, hey, you've got a Rakan who, the second he goes in, gets polymorphs, regrets his life choices, and then one of them on JDG is probably going to die. So I think at the moment, you're just happy to have the split map.
ラッキーさん素晴らしいウェーブの調整。レネクトンのプッシュウェーブ。トップレーンかなり勝ってますよ。これ。
You do actually see Keen able to get the early pressure. Both of them also going for double Dorans, so really putting a lot of
このパッ
importance
チ
on
は
maintaining early combat power and priority here. And right
ドランアイテムが2つ 変われますね。ドランアイテム強くなった後か。だからゴールド効率的にはかなり強いアイテム。お互いにドランシールド、ドランブレード購入していく。
Once again, trying to win out on these trades, but now that 369 is level 4, that's when the Renekton starts to feel a whole lot better. Because finally, moving down towards this bottom side, we'll see whether he can help out, aiming in the heads.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to try and get in here, but Kanavi is already in the area. Kuz wasn't quite spotted there, so we'll be just ships passing the night, but it gives the opportunity for Kuz to get in behind this bot lane, who thinks they're safe because their own jungler is in that region.
I think Ruler is thinking about trying to get an extendo beam.
やれることはないですね、セジュアニが。
KT, not going to bite off more than they can chew. Happy just to scale things up by the looks. As Kanavi moves down towards his bottom side. BDD in trouble though as he goes into the shroud. I think it might be time to go home.
I think, look, BDD will be fine. He'll reset. He'll get back. It'll be grand. Knight almost out of mana. Not going to get too much. I think the big explosion that we're going to see is going to
や
be
れることがないので、セジュアニかなり大回りしてトップ1のキャンプを食べに行きます。いや、レルが順調にジャングル回ってますな。
But honestly, Keen's been doing a great job of trading effectively, so I think at this stage, as long as JDG are able to play for that objective, get that, start to snowball, like bot lane, mid lane, that's how they want to try and open up this game.
We're also seeing that thus far, I think both junglers have been pretty well tracked. Seems like both teams are very aware
苦しんでます。チョービーの明かりは、ヤダオのオリアナ相手に CS。いや、明かり、オリアナ相手じゃないか。ニーコ相手か。ニーコ相手にかなり有利取ってましたね。これやりきれないのか。これウェーブプッシュして帰りたいですね。ファーストブラッドがレネクトに入り、治療回収したのがセジュアニ。確かにお互いに乗り物に乗ってる。いやこれ、トップレーンはレネクトンがかなり有利になりましたよ。400ゴールド手に入れましたからね。まあでも失った CS 分も含めたらトントンぐらいかな。
The ability to stack the permafrost very quickly can be quite big, and hence a lot of aggression here. You invested as well.
Actually quite like this from KT. You could see that they were getting a little bit bullied by the positioning of Ruler earlier on. We're going to have a look at this one once again as the cavalry arrives from both sides.
And you can see here 369 was playing for that level 6. The second he hits it,
いやジャックス強い。いややりきれないんですかこれ。回復が間に合ってしまった。
Really well executed by JDG and KT. They thought they were safe because Kuz got into the jungle and didn't spot Kanavi there.
There's also something we haven't touched on yet is the fact that 369 still has his flash
そして
available.
セジャーニが先にドラゴンに触りますよ。
Possible aggressive plays toward a Herald. And particularly, I think, against things like the Akali, having that available can be quite big. Do see KT going for the Dragon Air. We do know post-6, this lane becomes a whole
そうですね、2人分入って
Certainly does.
回復カーにできました。いや、レルの Q 強すぎるよ。これスマイとセジュアニじゃ勝てません。こういうふうにジャングルモンスターに対して追加ダメージが大きいスキルを持っているチャンピオンはスマイトバトル強いですね。リーシンとか、あとイブリンのウルトとか。レルの Q もジャングルに対してダメージ強すぎる。スマイトバトル絶対勝てない。いや、これは JDG 大きいですよ。セジャニの時間をたくさん使わせてラストヒットだって取りましたから。
Let's not elaborate on that one too much. And here on the top side, Kane continuing to have a slight gold advantage, but like you were talking about, Chronicler, 369 stacking his wave right now.
不可能だと思います。例えば、スマイトが600で追加ダメージ300出るとしたら、セジャーニは600しかダメージ出ないのに、 レルだけ9着ダメージ出ると、そしたらドラゴンの体力が600から900の間にレルが中とスマイトを同時に打つだけでスティール不可能ですね。絶対取れません。あ、そうですね、ヌヌもいました。お、エラルドファイト、あかりだ。レルを仕留めることに成功したけど、ウルトガーのレネクトは最強チャンピオンですよ。間に多分挟み込むのできないと思います。同時に出せるはずですから。ボタン同時にポチるだけでドラゴン取れちまうんだ。ジャックスがかなり頑張ってる。でもこれウルトがある状態のレネクトンは最強チャンピオン。このフューリーが自動で溜まっていくから強化スキル打ち放題。お互いヘラルドは一旦お預けです。ただディバインサンダラがない状態のジャックスがこれだけうまくやれてるのはすごいことですよ。ディバインできたらもうレネクトン相手負けません。いや、レネクトンの体力を削りヘラルド差ありますね。これは KT が取れますわ。
Yes, you have some of these champions that might be more better utilized at these early Rift Herald fights, but you burnt everything. Now Kanavi trying to match for Cousin this top side.
Yeah, Kane going aggressive once again. There's the dominance, and Kanavi's going to turn.
いや、お互いにトッププレーをジャングラーが助けていく。なんかさっきと同じことが起こったんですけど、レネクトにチルが入り、セジョーニが回収していく。さっき見た。ジャックス033。ジャックスかなり頑張ってるんですけどね。
また騎馬戦してる。
Knight had just teleported back, so BDD now able to get that health bar back up and running once again. Ruler going a little bit aggressive on his former teammate here. But he's just happily farming up these minions. Bit of a CS check. Culls have been completed. Aiming has sold him.
セジャーニは2キル取れてるのでアイテムが順調ですね。バーミシンダーとレディアントバーチ変えてますよ。
Stats in favor of aiming this tournament. We know what Ruler is capable of. And we just haven't got to games late enough for Ruler to really shine, I don't think. Dagda, that's kind of my opinion.
They also win in like one fight.
Yeah.
So like, how are you going to pump the numbers?
But that's the thing, right? Like, we've even seen it in this game where it's like JDG are focusing on their top side of the map. This is the way JDG play. It's played through 369, played through Knight, and on this one again, 369 just barely getting the heals that he needs. Kanavi just getting the interrupts in time to keep 369
をフラッシュで避けたんですけど、ギリギリ倒しきれず。
And going to be able to continue putting that pressure down, and you can look to leverage that now as JDG.
And that's even with Cuz like going for the double permafrost proc, right? Like really looking to get maximum damage there, and also with Keen flashing from Kanavi's crashdown. So really JDG able to play around this Renekton might have a fight here towards the bottom half of the map. Aiming.
アフロスさん死んだらまずいです。アフロス赤のウルトで体力を回復していく。ゼリのウルトずっと続いてますよ。いや、ルーラーのクレンズスピード速すぎ。
And Knight has made his way down as well, but that's a one fight for KT unless Narcos gets out. He's fine.
I mean, great turnaround from KT. The immediate teleport from BDD.
いや、カリがミッドのウェーブを捨てて GP で追ったんですけど、まだ育ってないゼリでこの威力。 そして明かりの煙幕のカウンターとも言われるゼリー。普通煙幕で隠れられると ADC はオートアタックできないんですけど、ゼリーのオートアタックは方向指定なので隠れられても当たるんですわ。
threaten these backlines. I mean, great ult coming through, but the follow-up from Lehens, making sure they keep Amy topped up. The Moonlight Vigil with the heal to make sure that Amy can then follow up. And Cuz getting on towards Ruler, and even though Kanavi tries to set up the follow-up engage, with that TP coming behind,
ゼリーのクレンズスピード。
he's waddling his way as quickly as he can, but it's just not enough.
自動クレンズシステムついてます。
By the time he gets down as well, and only ends up burning his flash later on to try and follow up on the play.
Do see that JDG was able to get first towards this trade.
レネクトンも寄せてドラゴン取っていきます。ドラゴンを捨ててジャックスのトップに TP してトップのタワーを殴っていきたい。クレンズ君ドットエグゼ入ってるかも。画面止まった。戻った。
It's all right. We'll see whether we can get the Rift Scuttler. There we go. There's at least that.
I think Keen needs to leave fairly quick because there's a lot of members of JDG up here. Although it looks like with Cuz kind of spotting out exactly where JDG is, they'll buy just enough time for first tower to go across.
いや、ジャックスが育ちました。ナイス。そしてミッドにもヘラルドぶつけましたよ。悪くなし。
It's actually really cool to see because for KT, whoa, that's a Mascot lane economy snapshot. I was gonna say KT, what they've kind of answered.
There's the two in the mid lane.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Two what? Just two?
Shouldn't there just be
two of them?
サポートが600円買ってる。
Two of them.
Two of golds.
Yes, two of golds.
Yeah.
Two of
It's
golds
like
in
the
the
three
lane
of hearts.
tonight.
It's like a, you know, if you're playing the cards or something like that. Yeah, it's all fine. But
And I do want to throw out a little bit of a warning here for KT fans that might be somewhat enthused.
キンさんずっと CS も勝ってましたからね、レーンで。
We don't count chickens, especially not against JDG. How often do they fall behind early, Dagda? Like,
yeah.
How often do they not pull the trigger until they can get these 5v5?
I will say though, Knight might be in trouble here as BDD is there, but I want to highlight, like, I think KT have really prepped for JDG as...
Ooh,
yeah, good.
Escape.
Wait,
Misses the
Missing's
dash
still here.
cannon, that's going to work out. Missing is
オ
here
レナ
though.
のルトをきちんとかわしていく。
He ults forward, dodges, gets out after the charge.
中のエンゲージにも反応していく。
It's happened.
What a play from BDD!
相手ボット3人です。
On JDG in that bottom side, and by enough time now, Cuz to get down to the bot lane to protect him. You've got push in mid. You're losing your top side cams here as Kanavi, as you can see with the Jacks stealing away blue. KT are kind of running the game here.
Still got the cannon.
Yeah.
Kind of don't even Jonas Strong would be happy
いい
about
ですよ、
that
これ
one.
ミッドタワー割れるんじゃないのか。
I can see your face right now, Chronicler. He
全
is
然割れません。
not ready.
あれヘラードぶつけてなかったっ
A little
け。
bit KT favored. He's not ready. Can't handle it. He doesn't know how to analyze this whole situation.
ヘラード止められたかさっき。
He's incapable
I
of
don't have as
commentating
much
right now.
experience as you.
これは GODD。
I'm not. This is not a familiar feeling for me. I do want to highlight that the
神
investment of
DD
JDG
の活躍により犠牲者ゼロに。
ended up getting them the turret, ended up getting the flash. Or actually, turret is still standing. Sorry, that's on BDD.
ヘラルドバレました。
But outside of that, as you were saying, the immediate counterpunch from KT on the other end of the map gains them a small bit more
DDD
importantly,
居座って
gains them control
ウェ
of
ブを
the
プッシュし
tempo
ま
on
す。
top side, lets them take over the enemy jungle and set up for second herald. Maybe this one will actually hit something.
It also buys them time to scale. Like Jax
そうか、さっきのミッドに出したヘラルド止められちゃったのか。止められてなければもうミッドタワー割れてたけど。
KT have done a really good job of reading the way JDG played the map. So usually you see 369. If they're gonna go, JDG are going for a play on bot lane. He'll cover the mid push. All right, cool. Keen walloping away in that top tower, gets the top tower. Like KT have done their homework against JDG and are punishing them for what JDG traditionally do.
And it's also the way that KT dispatched of Gen G for the entirety of
いや
summer.
ディバインサンダーできたジャックス強いですよ。
The fog being toggled there. Are they going to try and make a play?
Yeah, in goes Cuz. 369's
いや倒しきるのは無理か。
stacked up. They get the
さす
teleport
が
out
に
and KT say no. Not biting off more than
ほ
that.
ぼフルヘルスのレネクト相手にはちょっと難しい。
Oh, this is a bit of a problem. Aiming's going to flash, but they
いやーレンのエンゲージによってルル死亡、そしてアンフェロスもフラッシュなくなりました。ミッドタワーも壊れてしまうぞ。
Teleport's going to work out. Cuz moving his way forward as well. Keen counters
ゼレフラッシュクレンズナイス。そして逆に敵のミッドタワーを破壊しに行く。ヘラードを守れるかこれ。
They do manage to get the turret here, but JDG, they form the phalanx again. They should be able to defensively posture. They lose their turret.
ちょっとヘラードもったいない感じになっちゃったけど。ヘラード2つもったいなかったな。
Get your reset, you're looking at Dragon in 30 seconds time. You've just injected a bunch of gold into 2 of your carries, so I think they're in a great spot. Also, 369 committed his TP to bot lane, so no TPs at all for JDG on the upcoming play, and KT have the tempo advantage.
今のヘラルドなくても売れるぐらいだったし、1個目のヘラルドもなくなっちゃったし、ちょっと良くないですよ。ドラゴン2つ渡してのヘラルド2つだったのに。
369, that's not an easy target. Looks like KT don't want to go for it, but we might have another fight on our hands here. JDG, they don't have control right now, but I think they're going to be looking to test them. Maybe Konami can steal again.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe
ドラゴン、ヘラルドと湧くたびに。 いや、準備が早いですよ。先に触っていくセジュアに。いや、ちょっとルルアフェロスが追い込まれて攻撃しに行けないと。アフェロスのウルトが4人に入っていいダメージ出てますよ。オリアナのタッチ時が加えての明かりがプレッシャーかけていき、オリアナ死亡。おお、KT 優勝。 素晴らしい。 いやー、ルルもよく死なずに生き残りましたよ。一気に有利です、これ。先にドラゴン触り。レネクトのフラッシュ W をアフロスがクレンズで反応。そしてルルも生き残ることに成功し、いやー、アフロスが自由にダメージ出せましたね。ホールマンデさん、こんばんはです。そしていやらしい立ち位置にいるオリアナも明かりがとわめていく。おお、これが韓国1位の力。LCK3 位って書いてありますけど、これ実質1位ですからね。
before this nexus of theirs is going to potentially fall.
And one of the biggest pieces of criticism that is often levied towards VDD or his builds, invent or strip a lifeline when you were still allowed to second. He has one job, and that's to
これは LCK 1位と言っても過言ではない。
The amount of roll damage that he's going to be
So
able to
he's
output
wearing
is
a hat,
insane.
a belt, and some shoes.
Yes,
he's a
Not
stylish
bad.
man right now.
Yeah, I'm really into that build. As Kane, he's finished off his cool green sword as well. And alongside the Divine Sunder, he's going to be doing a fair bit of damage.
いや、セジュアにはパッシブがあるときこういうフェイスチェックできるのが強いですね。絶対知らないですから。
I think the biggest thing this buys for you as KT is time on the map in side lanes. Like you can see at the moment, right? BDD with this stylish hat is now just pushing in completely on that top side. Keen also, I mean, he's got a sword in each hand, or at least a hammer in the other one. So he's going to be able to push in.
KT 有利ではあるんですけど、シャットダウンがかなりついていますので、これ一回集団戦で何かあったら全然またひっくり返ります。
They should be okay.
Yeah, missing able to get himself out with the grand exit. As battle dance as well, of course, he's pretty slippery as the
いやー、カリティスキャットもできてる。強すぎる装備が。
moves away, just clearing out vision, and of course, this is the homework that you have to do when you're playing the 1-3-1. You need to be the team that has the vision around the Baron. Otherwise, very, very difficult to stop JDG from just taking
明かりの
that
攻
one.
撃誰も耐えられないですよ、これ。レルも普通に死にます。
Wins in a side lane. That is part of your win condition complete. So far, that is working out here for KT.
I think JDG are trying to essentially read where KT's next melee attack is. It looks like it might be on the top side, which is why JDG at the moment are just trying to see if they can clear out the vision in their own top side jungle and then shift it into river, separate the likes of BDD from the rest of his team. So he has to back away, opening up the opportunity for Knight to clear these waves. And I think that's your biggest vulnerability. Like Orianna into the likes of an Akali. I mean,
いやレルのエンゲージブリンクがないチャンピオンは大変ですな。フラッシュ切らないと死んじゃうからな。
BDD's gonna smash Knight every single time.
Big thing as well going in is that as we get deeper into the game, KT right now obviously looking really good in items, but we did see against Weibo that they were not really able to find a very clean way to take full control of the game, right? They had one mistake on top side, and then that kind of slowed the game down. The one thing I'd be worried about for KT, if they are forced into a 5v5, is that Ruler, as we get deeper into the game, is going to become a bigger problem.
クレンズ持ってはいるけどノックアップは軽減できないので
The second you get pushed there, you can lean into top side, clear out the vision that's already been set up here and to back here, and then you're in a position where you can allow BDD to extend far. You can get control over the Baron, and at the moment, Keen is totally fine. I mean, he's incredibly slippery. You're not going to be able to catch him. So that's why I think you have to try and focus on controlling this 3v3 in the mid lane.
トップレーンはボットレーンで戦っていく。
Well, 369 losing out in this trade at
ジャッ
the
クスだけ
moment.
歌わなくなりました。
Jacks here from Kane, certainly feeling pretty scaled
ジャ
at
ック
this
ス
point
の
in
弱
time.
点はマナが辛いことです
Fine cause here as JDG
すぐにマナがなくなる
desperate
チャンピオ
to
ン
get themselves into this river to try and get some semblance of control. BDD lurking to the north, though. It's a bit scary here for JDG. They're just trying to gather themselves at this point in time.
And I do think that KT, like when they see, for example, someone on red buff with the ward, they need to try and pull the trigger. Keen did invest his ultimate, so should be waiting for that to come up as JDG are looking for an engager. And you see as well, JDG actually hold on pretty decently to the vision that they have. It means that KT can't use the fact that BDD and Keen both are hard winning
ド
inside.
ラゴンが湧きますよ。
The problem is as well as BDD is just hard pushing this wave a
明か
little
りで
bit
今
too
リコー
much.
ル
I
し
think
て
you need to sync up your waves so you can actually try and get
バレて戻ってきます。
on top and the same timer to invade on top side. We haven't got that. Now
ジャッ
we've
ク
got
ス
a
で
dragon
セラフ
and now we've got an opportunity for
AT
JDG. Maybe
AT
look
ジャ
for
ック
something
スは
with
強いん
mixing
ですけど
tactics.
残念ながらセラフというアイテムが弱いので
Also lurking here as 369 takes down
最
the
強ではないんで
chickens.
すよ。
Still feeling like it's on a knife's edge. It's going to be second Drake
セ
for
ラフ弱いで
KT.
す。
Sole point opportunity, but of course JDG not a lot of control of the river right now. I think giving it up is probably
そ
the
して
right
ジャックス
move.
という
Live
チャン
to
ピオン
fight
ソロ
another
でドラゴンも枯れて
day.
しまう。
Or look to try and set up around this Baron, which could be an opportunity as well.
I think KT have played
い
this
やこう
incredibly
いう
well.
チャンピオ
It's like, hey,
ン
look,
僕好き
369
なんですよ。
is
ソロ
actually
で
contesting
ドラ
the
ゴン
play.
と
Right,
か
let's
ヘ
just
ラル
go
ト
with
やれる
Dragon.
チャン
As
ピオン
long as we can keep the 4v4 or at least 3v3 and mid in our
敵の
favor,
意表を
they
つくことが
can't
で
really
きる。
push in to go for Baron. You can see it at the moment. Now that you know, okay, for Dragon's gone, we can try and get some vision, but not having control over mid or top has made it impossible for JDG to contest Baron area.
セラフが弱いことの証明、今画面に映ってますね。このマナがきついチャンピオンオリアナですら、オリアナですら涙を購入していません。これがセラフが弱いことの証明。証明終了。
And Knight is going to be
育っ
looking
た
for
ファイター
aiming,
なら
right? If he
誰
hits
で
a
もできる。
shockwave, if they're able to actually lock down
確か
aiming,
に
even with
で
how
きはするんですけ
strong
ど、
Keen and
ジャック
BDD
ス
are,
は
you gotta
速い
imagine
方なの
that
で、
at least one of 369, Knight or Ruler will be able to
ジャッ
survive
クス
the
はな
fight
かなか
and
ソ
go
ロドラ
from
ゴン
there.
速い部類です
Do
よ。
note also the Knight's Vow on Cuz, which I assume has been put on aiming, try and keep him
他
alive
のチャン
throughout
ピ
the
オンは
initial
そんなに
burst.
速くないので、スキルファイターなんかは。
They're bearing down on this very, very injured turret. Can a turret get injured?
Never stood a
Probably not.
chance.
Damaged. I'd say damaged is probably the word that we could go for.
Oh, BDD.
Lurking.
早く枯れる。これが大事。
Where he can. Control ward goes down. BDD, I think, knows that there are a few too many bad guys over that wall. He is going to go away. JDG gets some control of their topside jungle. Maybe just for a moment, though, as Cuz looking to clear it out immediately. Vision coming through here as Missing's always looking for these angles. BDD might be the target. You can really feel it. JDG just trying to find someone that's caught out of position. Try and get that one
確かに
pick.
セラフにも
Try
貫
and
通欲し
find
い。
an angle. KT have already started off the Baron, though.
this
It's
is
down to
gone.
50% health. Missing has no idea. Kanavi's going to move forward. The
い
teleport's
や
going to
この
come
ドラゴ
in.
ンじゃないバロン。よし、スマイトバトル勝利。
Cuz gets the smite. The Magnus Storm comes through as well, but KT are just standing there.
ナイ
Grabs
ス。
ripped to shreds. BDD grabs one. And
おお、KT 最強。
just running for the hills. BDD's flashing forward. 5-point strike after 5-point strike, and the
これは
Cherokee
勝
is
ったでしょ
gonna win. BDD grabs
ナイ
a
ス。
double, and KT get the Baron and the kills.
KT are smurfing on JDG in this game, slowing down the pace, keeping control of the map, and picking up the Baron in the face of Kanavi. They may actually look to end it here.
I feel nothing. This is nothing happening as they push on forward.
いやー、フェロスのパワーが凄まじいですよ。ワニさん何もできず死亡。
seconds left on Kanavi, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough. The teleports are coming in. KT going to take down their first inhibitor of the game. And they're looking for Nexus turrets now. Kanavi thrown around like a ragdoll. Good double knockup, but the follow-up's not there from missing. And
いやー、ルーラーも死亡。
It's going to be that KT.
うおー、KT 最強。これが韓国実質1位の力。GG。
We're only just getting started now, though.
圧倒的だ。
And
これは優勝でしょう。
KT leads the series
あるで。
1-0.
あるであるで。
The clear underdog coming in. It's just a